Hello, I'm Chris, and this is my buying used nitro RCs. I won this auction at $132. Some of you are not going to believe what I got for $132, but it was $87 to ship it. Came from Nebraska, so this is probably the last Tmaxx that I will buy for a long time. So we have a transmitter. Hope this thing works. Let's check out the wheels and tires. Look how nice these wheels look. $232 is what I paid for this. All right, so this one came with some goodies. So we'll look at everything it came with, but check this out. It looks expensive. So a lot of people would have seen this on the internet. Oh my God, I gotta have that. It's all metal. I put the wheels on it to spin them to see if they're all straight. Oh my God, that's brand new. Always do this. There's nothing worse than getting your car out there and it's not going down the road straight. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, he's got his rear alignment. Look at that. I don't know if you can tell that. I mean, it's like 4 degrees in. So we're gonna take this one completely apart because I'm gonna sell all this red stuff on eBay. I know a lot of people like this. It looks beautiful and it's never been run. Check that out. That's actually really, really nice. Look at this. We even got the wheelie bar with the ball bearing and the extra wheels. Oh my goodness. This is like $40 right here, maybe a little bit more. And it's never been used. So the goofiness about this one is that this body didn't fit this. They never cut it out. Look at the wheelbase on it. So this might be a 3.3 body. Here's a 3.3. I made a video on it. I never uploaded it because people don't really watch my channel. So clearly it's a 3.3 body, longer chassis. Maybe it's electric aftermarket, I don't know, but it could easily be cut out. Let's check out what it came with at first. This brand new. It came with 2 extra servos. You cannot beat this. And it came with this engine. These are about $250, $300. They still sell them. Don't know anything about it, but this is something that I would put on a Fortec because it's a smaller one. Aftermarket, it should fit right on the Traxxas. The only thing I don't like about it is the carburetor for this, $94. So that tells you something about these aftermarket engines. And now I got the fever to get an aftermarket carburetor. Traxxas carburetor will go in there. Okay, so I'm new to this kind of stuff, so any advice would be appreciated. Is this a good engine, bad engine? Is it worth it or not? But when you get stuff like this, never assume that it's good. And I was trying to buy a compression checker. They just want way too much money for them. Oh my God. Man, this might be a brand new engine. So $232 shipped to my house. Let's start checking it out. We test the electronics first, always. So this servo is good. This servo is bad. Bad servos, I mark them, but I keep them for the wires. You notice how we test all this old stuff out? That doesn't mean that I'm going to run this stuff. It just means that I'm evaluating it, and if it works, I know I can sell this for $20 or $30 to somebody that needs it. Another message in these videos is, how would you feel if you bought this to restore? You got blinded by the bling, and when you get it home, you realize, oh my God, none of this stuff is really hooked up. It's just kind of stuck on there. That's why we're going to go through it. This time we're testing their transmitter with their crystal and their new one. Let's see if these servos are good. They have to be, right? All right, their transmitter works. Oh, it's not hooked up. And I almost quit making these videos because nobody watches them. But I said, you know what? People need to see this stuff. They put all this stuff on there, but watch. It's like stripped out, or is the servo bad? We don't know yet. So they used the engine screws, took the washers off for the servo. Oh, I know why, because these look shiny. They didn't want to put the boring screws back in there. And I will talk crap, I do not care. So was this stripped or is the servo bad? Yep, servo's trash. But isn't that weird that somebody would put all this bling and all this flashy stuff on here, but then they would have an old crusty servo in there? That makes absolutely no sense at all. So this person was definitely doing mods over maintenance. Look at this crusty boy. Ooh, look, they had a rat or a hungry roach. These have reverse on them, so let's check reverse out. So in case you don't know, this is centrifugal transmission, and you have forward and reverse. It's stuck in reverse. Let's just get this out because we got to pull the transmission. We're going to pull it anyway. Throttle servo checked out 100%. Look at this, not even in there right. Painted this red, and they didn't even use a pretty red. They used like an ugly red. Okay, and of course they did a crappy paint job. So let's see if they have the right servo attaching screws. They do. Awesome, I love that. Yeah, hopefully I can put these in a Berryman Chem Dip or something to knock that red paint off. I know these are not expensive, but still, if there's a freaking receiver in here, I'm gonna be happy. Look, this is what happened. That's why they never put it in there, because they bought this one and it's too big. So there was no way that was going in there. That's why they didn't put it in. You know, a lot of times that shifting servo is good. Oh my God, it's good. So honestly, I don't care about reverse, so I'll take them apart, stick them in forward, and just leave them. They won't come out of forward if you unhook them. I want you to just see that how this is just hanging on there. It's not even put on right. On top of that, it's put on with weird stuff. This is a freaking tailpipe. We're not gonna be able to get these started in this video because they're missing everything. I want you to see that. I popped this air filter off to inspect it. Dude, look, I am so happy because officially now I get to test one of those carburetors out. I'm not sure which one this is, but I'm assuming it's off of this engine right here. Let's check this air filter out. Okay, it's still good. I'm gonna wash this. But I'm telling you, for something that's got all this bling on it, this sure is a dirty vehicle. And this is why we take all this apart, because from that inside it looked clean, it looked good, and it's filthy. So all this just gets, oh my God. This is the worst filter I've ever seen in my life. Damn. Okay, let's just get this engine off and go through it. It's missing 2 engine screws. We have to check the motor mounts. Those things always get stripped. Can't tell what's going on here. I'm gonna go ahead and say that it spent too much time and some kind of cleaner took the anodization off. Oh God, look at this. Missing screws. Damn, man. Always take all this stuff apart. You never know what's in there. You never know. All that looks good. 1 comically loose, 2 loose, and then 2 were regular. No freaking head gasket on there. Oh my God, look at this damage on this. What the hell, man? Damn. Man, look at that, dude. So now it makes me wonder about this one right here now, right? This must have been some kind of crackhead. Okay, wrong screws in there, of course. Screw was so long, nicked the freaking block. That's why you don't put screws in there that are too big, because you can strip everything out and break stuff. This person didn't care. So now that I'm learning more about these, the pull start has its advantage, and I like them now. Let's check this one-way bearing. Okay, that feels okay. People that don't work on stuff like this, they don't have any understanding of torque. So they just tighten as tight as they can because they think that's what it needs to be, and it's not. It's usually never like that. Oh my God, this is a bad engine. Look. Man, imagine you buying this to restore. You paid all that money thinking that a 3.3 was good. They said it had good compression. It does have good compression. So just to confirm, the piston's not moving. We have a lot of play. Ooh, I got the head gasket right here. Look, there you go. Come on, 3.3. Yes, look at that. We're gonna clean it all up. And we got a carburetor for it. So remember, when you're on these motor mounts, always check these screws. These will be stripped out. Okay, I feel all right. I've been using this giant zip tie. If you use a small one that's too small, it'll cut it. Okay, so what I do now is, if this doesn't just pop up, we need to put some 3-in-1 oil in there. Okay, it's coming out. You want to take a good file and come across the top of that. See how it's all mashed up, and we want to see if we can get a uniform flatness. I had one that was butchered like this, and it was causing a head gasket leak. As long as we can look across it, see how that one almost ruined this. But we do have a little bit at the edge. We get a little more aggressive file. You do this at your own risk. If we do, we'll just have to keep filing it down like that until we get a little meat right there. But it might seal. Let's get this thing out. Please don't be the wrist pin. It's not the wrist pin. So let's get another crank. So I'm hoping it's going to be loose. It's not. It's the crank. The crank's bad. Oh, look, the crank just came out. That's freaking weird. Okay. Yeah, I mean. Okay, so it is in fact this crank. Do not keep stuff like this. Throw this in the trash. I think the inside bearing is okay. Put some oil in there. I'm going to try to do this with no heat. There we go. Nope, that bearing's not bad. That's a good bearing. Freaking about to strip the screws on it, so we have to peek in this one. Okay, this engine is like brand new. Okay, so first of all, they didn't have the back plate on there in the right orientation. They broke the screw off in there, over tightening it like an idiot. So then they JB welded that hole up, and then they went back to the same type of screw they had just broke off in there and cranked them down where they almost turned an Allen into a star. It came with an extra engine, and we got screwed on both of them. They both have problems. And that's why I go through the engines like that when I first get these things, because now I know. Oh my God, use the wrong screws in here can possibly crack your tank. All right, that looks fine. It does look like it has some aftermarket steel shafts right here. So I always check the prices on these. Some of these things are real expensive. So that's why I'm gonna have to take this thing apart and sell it, because we have purple bulkheads. They are aluminum. They look cool. They just don't belong, in my opinion. We do have red aluminum gearboxes. I don't see any names on this. Let's check the battery box out. Spend all that money on all that bling, and all you got is 4 AA's in there. Yeah, this person didn't give a damn about screws. And since I restore these, I keep all this stuff for me. I need it. So another lesson of this video is I would just outright sell it like this for maybe $100. But the truth is, you have to check everything out when you sell it used. If I sold this to somebody and they buy it and find out that something's cracked in there, they're gonna get mad. Do we have a matching set of shocks? Yes, we do. That's awesome. Racer's Edge, but that's only for the purple bulkheads. So this is a red metal bumper. I can't sell somebody that painted plastic, because in the ad they're gonna think it's aluminum and then they're gonna get mad. I'm telling you, man, I've been selling on eBay for a long time and I don't rip people off. Sometimes you got to give them some of their money back because it's the right thing to do. So there's no false advertisement. I thought these were aluminum. So let me go ahead and get some more stuff off of here and we'll talk about it. So I bought this one just to make a video on it, to show you how it's so easy to be blinded by the light. And this one came with an extra engine, blinded by the bullshit. So I spent $238 total on this. And I'm not gonna lie, I bought it because it had the 3.3 and it had this extra engine. Both of them have issues. Both of them are screwed up. Might work, worst case scenario, piston and sleeve. This one should work, but they broke a screw off in case you didn't watch it. So we do have a wheelie bar. This is about $30. So this is like yin yang, 50-50. It has some new parts on it that made up for what was screwed up. So the worst thing about this one, it wasn't necessarily this kit right here, this aluminum. It's not that bad. It fit together well, but this guy or girl had no concept of screws, didn't care. All the screws in here are screwed up. A few of them were fine thread put in coarse thread places. About 97-98% of them are all stripped out like that. So they had painted a bunch of the factory plastic red. I'm hoping that this stuff will come off. It looks like it will. And the Berryman Chem dip, that's going to be awesome. This transmission is stuck in reverse. We're going to crack it open real quick and look at it. Check out that slipper clutch. That's tightened down. So I mean, we did get a transmitter and new receiver. This is all the stuff up here that I'm keeping for parts. It did have these upgraded shocks right here, a complete set. It had metal drive shafts front and back, but these look like some cheap AliExpress stuff. Factory axle shafts, keeping all those. Dirtiest filter I've ever seen in my life, keeping all that. Set of wheels, like I said, 50-50 Racer's Edge. I gotta look the prices up. Don't ever be a greedy bastard. Don't ever practice that. It comes back to haunt you. People will look these up and they'll be $99 and they'll put them on eBay for $89.99. I'll see what they cost new. It's usually about 50% depending on how high the demand is for them. You also have to check every screw, and that's how you're going to sell them for that good price. Nothing stripped on them. That's the only good thing about this, why I'm not mad, is they did use the correct machine screw thread, so none of this stuff was stripped. They never used it, so it's not scratched. Look at that chassis. It's absolutely perfect. Weird things, they had different color springs. That's why I take the time and make these videos, to show people what can happen. Don't be fooled by people that do all these mods, and none of their engines were right. They're all screwed up. So let me go ahead and crack this transmission open and we'll figure out what the problem is. All right, nothing broken. Everything looks good. High speed, low speed look good. So evidently something got hung up in there. It's going into forward and reverse just fine right now. So you're either in forward or reverse. So we were stuck in reverse. There is no neutral. So what that means is the little reverse pawl right here was probably stuck in it. Well, I mean, that's the only thing it could have been. All right, transmission's perfectly good. Hopefully we can get this freaking crappy red paint off. I have a feeling it's going to come off. Final evaluation, if you would have bought this one to restore it, thought you were going to have a blinged out red aluminum Tmaxx, you'd be really upset right now. And that's what happens. People assume that this stuff's good. They never take it apart. You would have thought you had a good 3.3 and you would have been completely screwed. And don't forget the blinged out red clear body that doesn't even fit this truck. That's it. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.